Birmingham was electric, babes. The whole world came together for Sabbath's Day. Flags from Japan, Brazil, America, everywhere. Our city was the center of the universe, buzzing with energy and pride. It wasn't just a concert, it was a pilgrimage. People saved for years to be here. Banners hung from lampposts, Sabbath tunes poured from every pub and shop, black everywhere. T-shirts, jackets, but underneath a sea of smiling faces. Granddads with vinyl, kids discovering magic, all sharing stories and joy. Brum became a heavy metal haven, pure celebration, not sadness. Imagine 4 lads from Aston, now legends, coming home for one last show. Birmingham shone with pride and love, a day we'll never forget. I feel so lucky to have been part of it. Before the show, fans turned Birmingham into a Sabbath treasure hunt. They visited Aston, snapped photos at the band's old homes, and gathered at the Black Sabbath Bridge. The bench with Ozzy, Tony, Geezer and Bill became a shrine. Flowers, notes and fans from every country. Music was the universal language, connecting everyone. Pubs with Sabbath history like the Crown were packed. Fans belting out war pigs, pints in hand. The city was one big party, everyone part of the band's crew for the day. Around Villa Park, the excitement was electric hours before gates opened. It felt like a festival. Stories shared, friendships made, anticipation building. For everyone, this was more than a gig. It was history. The air was thick with anticipation. Something magical was about to happen. You just knew this was a once-in-a-lifetime moment. As the sun set, Villa Park buzzed with excitement and a hint of sadness. Faces old and young, all united for Sabbath's final homecoming. The roar when the lights went down was deafening, a wave of love and loyalty. This was history in the making, the final chapter of a legendary band. Black Sabbath invented a genre, and tonight we honored them. The anticipation was electric. Every flicker of light sent cheers through the crowd. People hugged, some wiped away tears, all feeling the weight of the moment. We weren't just here for songs. We were here to pay tribute to the architects of heavy metal. The air was thick with love, respect, and rock and roll spirit. We held our breath, waiting for our heroes to take the stage. This was a night we'd never forget. The whole event was a tribute. Support bands paying homage, the crowd buzzing with respect. The stage was epic, screens showing a montage of Sabbath's journey from Aston lads to global icons. The film showed their struggles and triumphs, reminding us why we love them. The crowd watched in silence, reflecting on their incredible legacy. The anticipation grew as the montage ended, screens went black and a single bell tolled. Everyone knew it was time for Black Sabbath. The opening notes of their namesake song sent chills through the stadium. The crowd erupted. The wait was over. The final ceremony was about to begin. The air crackled with dark magic. We were about to witness something legendary. The legacy was alive in every heart. The lights dimmed. A hush fell over the crowd. A palpable sense of anticipation filled the air. Then, out of the darkness, a figure emerged. A silhouette against the blinding spotlights. It was him. The one and only Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, back home at last in Birmingham. Arms outstretched, a wide grin plastered across his face, he surveyed the sea of faces before him. This was more than just a concert. It was a homecoming, a celebration, a moment etched in time. The crowd's roar was thunderous, a deafening wave of sound that washed over the stadium. It was a sound of pure joy, of unadulterated excitement, a collective outpouring of love and respect for the man who stood before them. He grinned wider, soaking it all in, every cheer, every scream, every ounce of energy that the crowd was throwing his way. He thrived on this connection, this shared experience, this electric atmosphere. "Let me see your hands," he shouted, his voice raspy but strong, cutting through the noise like a knife. It was a command, an invitation, a call to arms, and 30,000 hands shot up into the air, a unified gesture of devotion, a sea of outstretched palms reaching towards their idol. They were ready to rock, ready to sing, ready to lose themselves in the music. Ozzy was electric, a human dynamo, his energy infectious. He moved with a frenetic energy that belied his years, a whirlwind of motion and sound. He was running the stage, prowling like a caged animal, connecting with every single fan in the stadium. He made eye contact, he pointed, he gestured, making each person feel seen, feel valued, feel a part of something special. "I can't fucking hear you!" he roared into the microphone, pushing the crowd to their limits, demanding more. And the crowd screamed back, a primal scream of pure energy, a collective release of pent-up emotion. The sound was deafening, exhilarating, a testament to the power of music and the bond between artist and audience. This was Villa Park, the hallowed ground of Birmingham. This was home, the place where it all began. And Ozzy was back where he belonged, on that stage, in front of his people, doing what he does best. He was a force of nature, a legend in his own time, a true icon. Behind him stood the pillars of Black Sabbath, Tonyiommi and Geezer Butler, the architects of heavy metal, rock royalty, legends in their own right, together creating that iconic sound that defined a generation. The heavy riffs, the thunderous bass, the unmistakable sound of Black Sabbath. Seeing them together on that stage in Birmingham was an unforgettable moment, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It was a testament to their enduring legacy, their unwavering commitment to their craft, and their deep connection to their fans. And then they launched into the set, the opening chords reverberating through the stadium, sending shivers down the spines of everyone in attendance. The power emanating from the stage was immense, a palpable force that could be felt in the very air. It was a sonic assault, a sensory overload, a pure and unadulterated rock and roll experience. And at the center of it all, Ozzy was the ultimate master of ceremonies, the ringleader of this chaotic circus, the conductor of this symphony of sound. He was funny, he was emotional, he was genuine, a raw and unfiltered presence that captivated the audience. He was everything you could want in a frontman and more. He shouted, "I love you all," his voice cracking with emotion, a heartfelt declaration of gratitude, and you knew he meant it, every single word. It wasn't just a platitude. It was a genuine expression of love and appreciation for the fans who had supported him throughout his career. Every fan felt like he was singing just for them, connecting with them on a personal level, sharing his story, his pain, his joy. It was a true Brummie Legends homecoming, a celebration of music, of community, of the enduring power of rock and roll. The music was relentless, hit after hit, every song an anthem. Tony's Iron Man riff sent the stadium wild. Hearing it live in Birmingham was magic. The sound was heavy, the crowd singing every word, fists in the air. War pigs turned the place electric, thousands shouting, "Oh Lord, yeah!" in unison. Geezer's bass thundered, Tony's solo soared, pure genius on display. NIB brought the crowd together, swaying, lost in the music. Ozzy's voice was raw and emotional, arms around mates, tears in eyes. These songs are the soundtrack of our lives, there for every high and low. The energy never dipped from Into the Void to Children of the Grave. It was a journey. Each song was a masterpiece, delivered with passion and power. This wasn't nostalgia. It was a vibrant, defiant celebration. It was loud, heavy, and absolutely perfect. As the night wore on, a palpable sense of emotion began to fill the air. You could feel it, hanging heavy, thick with years of shared history and the weight of this final performance. The energy in the venue shifted, becoming more intense, more focused. This wasn't just another concert, this was really the end, the absolute, undeniable closing of a chapter, a final bow for a band that had shaped generations. Between songs, Ozzy looked out at the sea of faces before him, a mix of pride and profound gratitude etched onto his features. He seemed to be taking it all in, every cheer, every tear, every outstretched hand. When he spoke, his voice was thick with feeling, cracking slightly with the weight of the moment. Each word seemed carefully chosen, imbued with a deep sense of sincerity. "It's good to be home," he said, the simple statement resonating with everyone in the arena, not as a rock star, but as a local lad, returning to the place where it all began, to the streets that shaped him, to the people who understood him best. He thanked the crowd, not just for their support over the years, but for his life, for the journey they had all shared. It was raw, honest, and beautiful, a moment of pure connection between the band and their fans. In that moment, the real Ozzy shone through, stripped of all the rock star artifice, humble and sincere, a man deeply grateful for the life he had lived and the people who had made it possible. Birmingham wasn't just a backdrop for this final act. It was the very heart of the story, the foundation upon which the legend of Black Sabbath was built. Every Brummie reference, every local in-joke got a massive cheer from the hometown crowd. Our city's pride was on full display, a collective roar of appreciation for their local heroes. The band soaked it all in, letting the energy of the crowd wash over them. Tony and Geezer smiling, their faces etched with emotion, clearly moved by the magnitude of the moment. Ending it here in Birmingham, where it all began in a small, smoky club, was the only fitting way to bring this incredible journey to a close. It was a perfect full circle, a return to their roots, a final triumphant victory lap in front of their adoring home crowd. But beneath the triumph, beneath the celebration, there was an undeniable undercurrent of sadness. A bittersweet goodbye to something truly special. We were saying farewell, not just to a band, but to an era, to a huge part of our lives, to the soundtrack of our youth. It was beautifully bittersweet, a poignant reminder of the power of music and the enduring bonds it creates. The lights dimmed, a hush fell over the crowd, and then the roar. It was time for the encore, the moment everyone had been waiting for, the final act of a legendary career. The final song we all craved and dreaded, a bittersweet symphony of anticipation and sorrow hung in the air. We knew what was coming, the inevitable end, but we clung to every second, wanting it to last forever. The stadium chanted, "Sabbath! Sabbath!" The sound was deafening, a unified voice of thousands begging for more. A plea for one more moment, one last chance to experience the magic, the power, the sheer brilliance of Black Sabbath. Hands reached out, hoping to touch the legends on stage. The iconic riff of Paranoid exploded, instantly recognizable, a sonic boom that shook the stadium to its core, and Villa Park went wild. The crowd erupted in a frenzy of movement and sound, a collective release of pent-up emotion. It was the last dance, a final opportunity to lose ourselves in the music, to connect with the band and each other. The final mosh, pure chaotic joy. Bodies collided, spirits soared, and for a few glorious minutes nothing else mattered. Ozzy gave it everything, pouring his heart and soul into every note, every gesture, running the stage, a whirlwind of energy defying age and expectation. His voice cutting through the noise, a raw, powerful sound that defined a generation. The energy was off the charts, a palpable force that vibrated through the air. A perfect high-octane ending, a culmination of decades of music, passion, and dedication. As the last note rang out, echoing through the stadium and into the hearts of everyone present, confetti rained down, purple, black, silver, a shower of celebration and farewell. The band took a final bow, arm in arm, a symbol of their enduring bond and shared history, exhausted and happy, knowing they had given their all one last time. Ozzy, Tony and Geezer, one last time together. The original lineup, the architects of heavy metal, united in a final unforgettable moment. "Thank you, good night, we love you all," Ozzy said, his voice filled with emotion, a heartfelt farewell to the fans who had supported them for so many years. As the end flashed behind them, a stark reminder of the finality of the occasion, the crowd lingered, reluctant to let go of the moment, wanting to hold on to the memory for as long as possible, hugging, crying, not wanting to leave, knowing that they had witnessed something truly special, something that would stay with them forever. It was the end of an era, the closing chapter of a legendary band that had shaped the landscape of music, a triumphant, unforgettable farewell, a celebration of a career that had spanned decades and touched millions of lives. We were there, and we'll never forget it. A night etched in our memories, a testament to the power of music and the enduring legacy of Black Sabbath. Though it was their last show, Black Sabbath's story is far from over. Their music is immortal, their legacy woven into Birmingham and rock history. That night was a passing of the torch, memories to be shared for generations. Sabbath's legacy is more than music, it's hope for every kid with a dream. 4 working-class lads changed the world, giving a voice to the voiceless. Their message, face the darkness, never let it beat you. Their influence echoes in bands worldwide. They created a global family. The sense of belonging they sparked is their true legacy. They didn't just create a genre, they built a worldwide tribe. The music lives on, inspiring new fans and musicians. Black Sabbath is forever, woven into the DNA of rock and roll. We are so proud of our boys.